See, to be very honest, the stamp duty has helped only the persons in the affordable sector. Two things. One is the property registration, and second is what are the documents. Very important thing that customers should check whether the builder is following the Akarma and the Sakarma Act.
Is everything online and is everything can be done by the individual, or do you suggest your customers that they hire a professional lawyer?
In case of new property, you have to obtain the occupancy certificate also. One more important document which we Karnataka we call it as Khata extract. So it ensures the main concern that every buyer today has. Will I be able to get my property on board? Very important document which buyer should definitely ask, that we call as EC, that is nothing but encumbrance. It has the environmental clearance or a green building certificate. So environmental impact assessment is very important.
So welcome to our podcast today. Today we will discuss about impacts of government policies for residential real estate buying in Bangalore. Our guest today is Mr. Rohit Sazawal. He is the Chief Business Officer in KONING Homes. Hello, Mr. Rohit.
Hi, good evening, guys.
Hi. So let me say something about Mr. Rohit. Rohit is a seasoned senior sales leader with over 18 years of experience driving revenue growth and building high performance teams across industries like EdTech, real estate, and BFSI. He is known for crafting and executing sales strategies that consistently exceed targets and brings a unique blend of strategic vision, leadership, and a passion for nurturing client relationships. Welcome, Mr. Rohit, and thank you for giving us your time today.
Thank you very much, and thanks for such a wonderful introduction. So let's hope this
Sure.
session is fruitful and we take some insights out of it.
Sure, definitely. With you here, I'm sure we will take a lot of insights from you. So, Rohit, before starting, we would like the audience to know about your success mantra. So, when we were discussing earlier, you said selling is about building genuine emotional connections with the customer. Trust, empathy, and understanding their needs are the foundations of a long-term, thriving relationships. So,
Yes.
please tell us something more about this philosophies.
See, basically, as you have mentioned throughout from the day one, I have been into sales. And sales, I think, is one of the most important aspect and a role and responsibility for any person in any company, which takes the company, which makes the company, and at the same time, sometimes it can take the company down also. At the core of it, I always keep customer in the forefront, because if you are unable to understand the customer needs, if you are able to build that trust within the customer, if you are always transparent and don't hide anything with your customer, then that trust is being built over the years. So that is the main mantra in my sales career over the years. Customer have always put at the core of my total 18 years of journey, and I still believe the same, and with the same values I am looking forward now in KONING Homes also, where again customers are very important. And the biggest thing which I've learned in real estate is that people come for buying, but it is our responsibilities also to educate them as well on their needs and whether they are taking a right decision or not. See, selling is for me the last thing. First, I think I have to personally ensure that each of my sales team members understands the requirements of the customers and makes them feel better, because at the end of the day, it is somebody's lifetime earnings. And real estate, is not a very small investment. At the end of the day, it's a very high-end investment. So myself personally and my team, we always ensure that the customers are very well educated in all the things which are related to home buying. So making them buying with us in a very easy way, so that they don't have any doubts before coming and investing with us.
That's great, sir. That's really insightful, and I'm sure it is very helpful for people who are trying to enter real estate market.
Yeah.
So, when you advise your customers on home buying, right? What do you think are the common mistakes they do while dealing with registering a property, while dealing with the government? When that stage comes in home buying, that they've decided on the house and they are finally going for registration. So, what do you think is the common mistake that people do, and what do you suggest to them?
See, generally what happens today in social media world, everybody just follows what others are saying. And at the same time, today's times are not like the earlier times when you don't have access to the information. There is enough information already available in the market. It is just you have to follow a certain route. Now, for example, previously there was no government regulations in real estate. Everybody was selling whatever they wanted to sell, and there were no government regulations. But after 2016, when RERA came into picture, home buying became a little more, sensitive issue, and people had now the faith on the system, so that they were assured of the timely deliveries of their property. They were assured on the quality of the property. They were assured that whatever builder is or developer is publishing or saying to the customer is at last being delivered. And there are before entering into any property, there are certain government regulations that as a buyer definitely you should see yourself or take a help of a legal expert. Then only you should enter to the property which you are interested in buying. So, for example, the first thing which I would say for any government regulations which customers should know or check is that is the property first RERA registered. That is a very core important thing. And today you have a RERA portal. You can yourself go there and see whether the project is being actually registered under RERA or not. There is a RERA certificate which the customers can download themselves and see whether it is RERA approved or not. That is the first and the foremost thing. Second, they should clearly know what is the stamp duty and the registration that they are going to pay. Because see, generally what mistakes people do is they just calculate the total budget of a property. They don't know the extras which are going to be included with after buying a property. So stamp duty and registration charges are very important that a consumer should know. And third, which is most important, is that customer has to check whether the property is either approved by BDA, it's either approved by BBMP, or it is either approved by BMRDA. Where the first two, BDA and BBMP, are within the still city limits, and BMRDA are those properties which are outskirts. So they ensure that the zoning laws of the land are being followed by the developers. Then other very important thing that customers should check whether the builder is following the Akarma and the Sakarma Act. So which is nothing but to ensure that there is no extra or illegal construction being happening on the particular parcel of land. So this is then having said this, then there are other things that you have to see as a government regulations point of view, is that is the building is this approved by if it has the environmental clearance or a green building certificate. So environmental impact assessment is very important. Without that, the builder will not get the approval. That is one more very important thing. Then after that, there is one more very important document which buyers should definitely ask, that we call as EC. That is nothing but encumbrance certificate, which ensures that the property is free from any legal or financial obligations. It's a very important document and it is available in the sub-registrar office. They issue it. Then to again streamline the process, Karnataka government has started the Kaveri online services, which ensures that the proper documentation and registration records are well maintained in the server and anybody can check it, and it is recorded safe. And it also ensures that your property is being registered in a proper way.
Okay. That was really a comprehensive list of what a person should check before buying a property. So one continuation question on this, sir. All those checklists that you described, is everything online and is everything can be done by the individual, or do you suggest your customers that they hire a professional lawyer to do all this, to complete all this checklist?
See, there are a couple of things which are readily available on the online. For example, RERA, yes, they can check easily. It is available on the on the RERA website. Then for other BDA, BBMP approval, yes, and other things which are related to the property verification documentation, I would always suggest they should take help of an expert legal opinion before entering into any transactions. That's very important because it reposes the faith in a buyer before entering into the actual transaction.
Okay. And now to these regulations, because you meet home buyers regularly and you know what goes out in the market, right? What their thinking is. So what do you think what is the regulation that majorly affects a home buyer's confidence?
See, typically, the main concern that every buyer today has, will I be able to get my property on time or not? That is a major question that most of the customers whom I meet they have, because there have been instances in past wherein the deliveries have been delayed beyond timelines. So that is the reason this RERA was came into picture. And once we are ready with all the approvals and we are RERA certified, I think most of the customers then believe that yes, we are going to get our possession in accurate time. So then that 50% or 60-70% of that doubt automatically goes off, because RERA is definitely a very important thing, because it ensures a lot of other things for a customer safety. So that is a very important point.
Okay, understood. So, in continuation to this question again, to the point that you made about RERA, right? So, RERA guidelines protect home buyers, that we know. But when actually a dispute happens, let's say a property is not delivered on time, how can home buyers actually use RERA in for dispute resolution?
Yeah, see, RERA has a separate entity and a vertical wherein the customers can go and lodge the complaint against the developer if the project is delayed or there are any structural defects or any other things which have been promised by a developer and it's not actually there in the project. So every buyer has a right and they can lodge a complaint in the dispute tribunal, which the RERA has a separate division, and the hearing will be made there, and it is also published in their website so that you can track what is happening, what is not happening. And it is easily accessible. Any customer can go and launch a complaint with the dispute cell, which RERA has separately developed for the consumers who have certain issues with the builders or the developers, on maybe a project is not completed, some structural issues or any other amenities or things which the developer has promised but has not been delivered. But yes, as you know, law, it takes its own time. But yes, there's a provision where customers, at least there is somebody who can hear them.
Our audience is basically Gen Z, who are kind of first home buyers. They have not experienced this process of property registration. So we wanted to explain to them what are the steps that happen actually when you land up, at the last step of property registration, which is basically you go to the government office and register the property actually by signing. So what are the steps involved in property registration, and what are the documents required, if you can illustrate?
Yeah, see, this is the most important thing where anybody before entering to the property finance transaction. So there are two things. One is the property registration, and second is what are the documents which are required for the same. So for the first, I will tell about property registration. What are the key documents which are very much important for that? So first and the foremost thing is they have to verify the title deed. So as I mentioned earlier, it ensures that the property is clean and it is in the legal ownership of the builder or a developer. So for that, as I said earlier, they have to take a help of a legal expert, legal counsel, because they can only study the title deed and they can propose them whether it is good to go or not good to go. That is the first thing. Now, after they have verified the title deed and the lawyer or the legal expert has given his consent to go ahead, then the next important thing for the same is drafting of a sales deed. So drafting of sales deed ensures a proper ownership of that property to the customer. So once they have entered that, then the third thing is that customers have to pay the desired stamp duty and registration charges to the government. Because before, without that, the property ownership will not be considered. That's one of the most important thing. Then, after these documents are done, then the customer has to visit to the sub-registered office, and somebody from the builder side will also visit there. And there, compulsory, we have to have two witnesses who will ensure and witness, yes, this transaction has taken place between the seller and the buyer. And once that is done, then what happens is we have to register the documents in the sub-registered office. So where it is very important to present all the documents, then they will take your biometrics there, they will take your photographs there, all the signatures will be taken to verify and kept for the future records, so that there is no dispute in the longer run. Then once these formalities are done, then we have to obtain the EC from the sub-registered office, that is encumbrance certificate. which ensures that there is no pending legal or financial burden on that particular unit or property. Then after all these things are done, you have to, in that sub-registrar office, they will update the same in the municipal records for future references, so that it states clearly the legal ownership of the particular person to that property which he is buying. Now this is about property registration. Now coming to the second part is what are the documents which are required for the same. See, the first is the KYC documents, that is your Aadhaar card and PAN card, which is very much important. Second, your passport size photographs, which are required for keeping the records and to be pasted on the different documents. Then after this, you have to have the original sales deed copy, which is one of the most important documents to be presented at the sub-registrar's office. After that, in certain cases, some builders and developers, they have this thing called agreement to sell. It's not mandatory, it depends on developer to developer, agreement to sell. That's also one of the very important and valid documents. Then once this is done, then there is one more important document which we call it as Khata extract. So it ensures that the proper municipal that guidelines have been followed and the particular property is following in that particular Khata number. That is again a very important. Khata extract is a very important document, and it should be there while you are registering or entering into any property transactions. Then you have to, for example, suppose a resale case or some other properties, in that case, you have to show the property tax paid. Because see, the transactions are not only new transactions, there can be certain transactions which are in the resale category also. So there the proper record has to be maintained for property tax paid. Then in case of new property, you have to obtain the occupancy certificate also. So occupancy certificate is nothing but it shows it says that building is legally considered to be occupied for residents. That's very important. Again, EC, which I've already told, to confirm that there are no liabilities on the property. And for bank loan documentation, if the person is going for bank loan, there are formalities from the bank side. All those documents have to be kept ready, and so that the bank loan is easy to access, because once you are availing the bank loan, you have to also show the receipt of stamp duty proof. So it shows that yes, the property and the transaction which you have entered are legally valid. So that's also very important. Now, in certain cases, if the person, certain cases, for example, you are not there, then you can also give power of authority to some other person, so that on behalf of you, he can also enter in the transaction. And then in certain resale cases, you have to obtain NOC from either the society or the builder, so that it clearly says that there are no dues or this transaction is okay, and the customers or the buyers or sellers can enter in this particular deal. So these are some of the important documents which has to be considered before entering into the actual transaction.
So I have one small question, sir. Yeah. So the recent changes in the stamp duty affected the cost of buying a property in Bangalore. So what are your views on that, sir?
See, to be very honest, the stamp duty has helped only the persons in the affordable sector. Otherwise, for the general, which is above the properties which are above 45 lakhs or 50 lakhs, doesn't have much effect. But if the properties are under affordable section, for example, if the property is up to 20 lakhs, the stamp duty is 2%. If it is 20 lakhs to 45 lakhs, the stamp duty is 3%. And properties which are above 45 lakhs are the general 5%. So the stamp duty has definitely helped for the people in the affordable section. So this is the strategic move by the government to help people in the affordable section, and the central government's dream of housing for all project. So in affordable sector, that stamp duty definitely helps for the affordable sector.
Okay. What tax benefits are available for the first-time home buyers?
See, this is a very interesting question. Basically, though most of the people know it, but still I would like to cover it. See, there are 3-4 tax benefit clause here, which person entering into the property should definitely know, so that he can save some money. So the first and the foremost is section 80C, wherein a customer can save up to 1.5 lakhs on the principal repayment. But the condition is that he should not sell the property before 5 years. So that is one, that is comes under section 80C. In section 80C, then there is one more clause on stamp duty. They can claim the same up to 1.5 lakhs if the transaction has to happen on the same financial year. So they can claim that as well. So it covers your section 80C. Then you have one more section, which is section 24B, that ensures you can save up to 2 lakh rupees on the interest paid on a property which you are buying. So that is the second thing. Now the third thing is section 80EE, that generally it is applicable for affordable homes, wherein they can get an additional 50,000 benefit on the principal repayment or interest payment. But the condition is that the loan should not exceed 35 lakhs and the property value should not exceed 50 lakhs to avail that section 80EE. Then you have one more tax benefit, which is again for affordable housing, that we call as section 80EEA. So that again ensures that you can save up to 1.5 lakhs again on the interest repayment, but the condition is that the stamp duty of the property value which you are buying should not be more than 45 lakhs. But here there is one condition, that at the same time the customer should not have any other property in his name. So technically this is for the first time buyer, this additional benefit. And again here, if he is availing section 80EEA, they can't claim the section 80EE. So either of the two can be claimed, and the condition is very clear. They should not have any other property. This is the first property where they are entering the first time. Then apart from this, then government has started this Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojna, which you know. So it ensures the subsidy up to 6.5% basis on the category of the income level. So for example, there are 4 categories which have been divided. One is the economically weak section. Then second is your lower income group. Then we have mid income group 1. Then we have mid income group 2. So the salary income ranges from 3 lakhs to max 18 lakhs. And the range is between 3 to 6.5%. Or you can say up to 2.65 lakhs they can save under this Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojna. Then there is a GST angle as well, but generally there is no direct benefit from GST because generally it is 5% on all the properties. But for affordable properties which are in metro cities and are not exceeding more than 60 square meters and costing is not more than 45 lakhs. So which I feel is very difficult in metro cities to get a property at 45 lakhs in 60 square meters. So there they have to pay 1%. And for non-metros, it can goes up to 90 square meter. That is the clause set by Government of India. And again, they have to pay only 1%, but the property cost should not exceed 45 lakhs. So these are some 5 to 6 major tax benefit schemes which government has provided for the individuals to avail the tax benefit. Or depending on the customer, these tax benefits can be availed.